Oh boy. What a joke. Man, what a joke. That was pathetic. And I really don't. I think my thing here is I don't want to come off as somebody that is literally just looking at one side of the ball and is calling the whole team bad. Because I know a lot of people say, you know, you lose with all 53, you lose with all 22, whatever. No. That Rams defense has bailed this offense out time after time after time. And I am so damn sick of it. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. You guys are not ready for what I'm about to say. Well, you might be if you're on Twitter. I think the Rams offense, and it really has started to click with me, this Rams offense is overrated. It's time to finally just face facts. This Rams offense is overrated. It's not just right now. It's not just this year. The whole Matthew Stafford era has been littered with just, yeah, and, oh, that was nice. I mean, come on. Are we really going to act like it? All right. For those of you who know me, obviously I have to bring stats to the table. 2016, okay? Jeff Fisher, John Fossil coached that team. John Fossil coached for 3 games. Rob Boris, the high school offensive head coach. I'm just saying that because Todd Gurley did. 32nd league offense, right? They scored 224 points. In comes Sean McVay. Sean McVay, with a lot of the same players, obviously some new parts, scores 478 his first year in the league. Number 1 offense, okay? Number 1. Then the next year, okay, same type of offense, different player, Brandon Cooks instead of Sammy Watkins, some other new guys, what have you. Second offense in the league, score 527 points. So remember that, guys. Remember those numbers, 478 and 527, because that's going to be important. 2019 scores 394. Ranked 11th offense. That team didn't make the playoffs. 2020, okay? This is Goff's last year. 22nd ranked offense, scores 372. 2021, they win the Super Bowl. They score 460 points. They have the 7th ranked offense. But they had a whole month in which I don't know what the hell they were doing. But they won the Super Bowl, so who gives a rip, right? 2022, I know they dealt with some injuries, obviously a lot of injuries. They scored 307 points. Stafford barely played the season. We're not going to hold that really against him. 27th ranked offense. 2023, 8th ranked offense, scored 404 points. Now, 8th ranked, that's a top 10 offense, right? Got to give him credit, right? But 404 points, they scored 120 less than the 2018 team. 120 fewer points. But then you look at 2024 right now, and right now they have scored 170 points. That's good for 18th in the league. Oh, that's not true because that didn't factor in tonight. So I can factor that in for you. They've scored 185 points. They're averaging around 21 a game. You could say, oh, injuries this, injuries that. Look, this is no knock on Matthew Stafford at all. But can someone point as to why? Like, for real, just like let me know. Maybe I'm missing something. Why is it that despite having a much better quarterback in Matthew Stafford and having, some would say, maybe even some better teams than the teams that we saw in the past, Why is it that this team does not score points? They don't. Like, why? How do you have an offense? Because there's no injury stuff, okay? Like, you could say what you will, and I'll get into it. I'll add some context about the whole offensive line and why I think they are going to turn it around, and they're going to beat New England, and who knows, they might even beat the Eagles, who haven't played really anybody on their schedule, and they might turn this thing around. They absolutely could. They could win every game the rest of the year, and if this is the silliest live stream I ever do, and I look like a fool, then so be it. But I am not going to sit here and lie to you, because I am literally seeing it. I'm watching an offense of Kyron Williams, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and you're telling me that the best you could do is score 15 points at home in front of the world? Are we serious right now? This is not serious. This season has been a joke offensively. They've scored 20, 10, 27, 18, 19, 20, 30, and 26. Littered into that, by the way, are defensive scores. Like, the defense is scoring touchdowns. The defense has scored more points in a couple games than the offense scored this time around. This is pathetic. How is this acceptable? And trust me, I am going to give credit where credit's due. If you guys didn't see me over on Bleacher Report, I'm going to give credit where credit's due. The Dolphins had a great game plan. They did. Anthony Weaver's a great defensive coordinator. I looked at him for the Rams. I liked him coming from the Ravens. I think the Ravens deserve credit. I do. I think the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins 100% deserve credit. Dolphins went out there 2-6. Bunch of people were DMing me how the Rams are going to blow this team out. And I said, one, the Rams don't blow teams out. They just don't. And two, this is a way better team than the record. I would go as far as to say this Dolphins team is the most talented team the Rams have faced since going back to week 3 against the San Francisco 49ers. But because the 49ers were banged up, I'd go back to week 1 against the Lions. I think that highly of the Miami Dolphins. I do. They're 3-6. They're about to do the reverse Rams. I'm telling you right now, any Dolphins fan watching this right now expecting me to hate on them and be bitter, well, you're at the wrong show, because I'm a straight shooter. And I think it's kind of, it's kind of been muddied a little bit, because when you are a fan of a team and you cover the team, people like to throw words around like delusional when you are confident in something the team's going to do. They like to throw around homer. But I'm going to be honest with you, okay? The Rams lost this game by shooting themselves in the foot. That's absolutely true. But the Dolphins forced those things to happen. See, we can't sit here and talk about how a pressure forces an interception, or a pressure forces a bad decision, or a pressure leads to a sack, but then sit here and say, yeah, well, they didn't really deserve much credit because we beat ourselves. No. There are times where that applies in certain circumstances. This is not one of those times. The Dolphins forced the Rams into some bad miscues. Yes, the Jonah Jackson snap over Stafford's head was awful, but there were multiple plays in this game where the Dolphins have just a great play call. Weaver decides to overload the right side, and they didn't do anything to help out Joseph Noteboom. Now, the question is, why do they have to help out Joseph Noteboom? How is Joseph Noteboom, who was drafted, mind you, the year that the Rams played in Super Bowl 53 against the New England Patriots, the year that Todd Gurley was still the best running back in the league, the year that I'm pretty sure Avengers Endgame came out, and it might have been 2019. Anyway, you get my point. Joseph Noteboom has been in this league since 2018, and I don't think he's gotten any better. And you know what? That hurts to say. I like Noteboom. I met him in person, first Senior Bowl. I think he was the first guy I interviewed. Such a nice guy. But I have a job here. I lose credibility the moment I start to be like, oh, yeah, I like Noteboom. Noteboom's great and all this. No, Noteboom is not great. That signing was awful. That signing is not only going to hurt them this year, it's going to hurt them next year and the year after. Do you want to know why? Because Joseph Noteboom, despite what people might realize, he's done after this year. He won't be back. But guess what? Because of what they had to do, because it was a $20 million cap hit this year that he had to work around to be on this roster. Yeah, do you know what that workaround it involved? It involved void years, 2, as a matter of fact. Those void years make it so next year the Rams will be paying Joseph Noteboom. That's $10 million. Now, he doesn't get the money, but that's $10 million on the books, okay? $10 million on the books. Dead money, because Joseph Noteboom moved that money. That money's already gone. It's already paid. It's gone. That's going to hit the salary cap, $10 million next year. And then 2026, guess what? 2026, $5 million. Just going to hit the books. So the gift that keeps on giving. And this is not a roast fest of Joseph Noteboom. He's not the only one who had a horrible game. Jonah Jackson had a pretty bad game. What I'm going to say is this. I can be understanding. I can even be a little lenient in the idea, okay, this first game back in a long time, rusty, doesn't have the communication there with a lot of these guys, needs to gel more. I get that. I do. But it didn't get better at all throughout this game. I think it only got worse. And here's the kicker. You know what's really the kicker here? They started 2 rookie interior offensive linemen after the bye. They went 3-0 with those guys. But not only that, they started those 2 guys. They had their bumps and bruises. But the first day those 2 played next to each other, Justin Diedick and Bo Limmer, an undrafted guy and a 6th round guy, the day those guys played in the lineup, they started. You didn't see what you saw tonight. These are veteran players. Maybe, just maybe, Jonah Jackson might not be a center. And you know what? That's a concern. Not because he's not a center. You literally signed him to play guard. The concern is that you spent all offseason building up Steve Avila to be your center. And he could have been spending more time at guard and getting better, but you focused on center. And then right before the season, you just decide, screw it. Let's just make Jonah Jackson the center. What's even more frustrating is that I haven't seen one single thing that would lead me to believe that Jonah Jackson is even good. I'm not saying he's a bad player. But I have not seen one instance on tape where I'm like, oh my God, this is why they signed him. I have not. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and try to tell you that everything's going to be okay. Because, look, Jonah Jackson hasn't been great. Now, he's been hurt. But he's always hurt. I said that when they signed him. I said he's guaranteed to be hurt. He's going to miss games. He misses games every year. I hope he stays healthy, but I feel very confident in saying that he is going to get hurt. He just does. He gets hurt. I hate to sound like Brian Cashman when he told the media that we're expecting Giancarlo Stanton to get hurt, but hate to break it to you, the proof is in the pudding. And I have remorse for that. I don't want anybody to get hurt. But let's call it like it is. The Rams tried something different. I was wrong. I'll be the first one to tell you I was wrong. I thought the Jonah Jackson thing was a little weird. I thought there were better options. Didn't love it. And then I kind of started to grow, and I was like, okay, I can kind of see where they're coming from. They want to run the football. They ran 16 times today in a one-possession game. Furthermore, right, this is another thing I want to talk about. Colby Parkinson. Where the hell was Colby Parkinson? They're paying him $8-something million a year. They're already done with him. Now, I give you credit to be willing to move on from something that didn't work. And I thought Colby Parkinson was going to be really good. I thought that they found somebody who was just totally wasted away in Seattle, wasn't utilized correctly. And who knows, maybe he's not being utilized correctly with the Rams because they don't know how to use tight ends. Bryson Hopkins is one of the main reasons they won that Super Bowl, and he got awarded by not playing ever again. Very limited play. I still don't know what the hell happened with Bryson Hopkins, but for whatever reason, for Sean McVay, and I love the guy, but for Sean McVay being a former tight ends coach, I have no idea what his deal is with tight ends. I don't know. But Parkinson, Jonah, Trey White, we saw this deal before. Do you know who it was? It was for a player, at least give the Rams some credit, now, because Trey White at one point was an all-pro. So the hope was, albeit very magically, but the hope was that he would come back from a torn Achilles, which is one of the most devastating injuries you could have, and be an all-pro level corner again. Don't just ask me. Don't just take it my word for it. They literally said they were hoping he would go back to his old ways. Didn't work. Do you know who he was without the big name? Guys, we saw this. He was Cody Sensabaugh. When they signed Cody Sensabaugh, that move was stupid. The difference is Cody Sensabaugh wasn't good in general. Trey White is struggling because he had a serious injury he was coming back from. That's the difference. It's just really, really frustrating. It's really frustrating because I feel like this team is capable. I do. But I've been saying to you guys, this team can win the Super Bowl. I think this team will win the Super Bowl. I think this team will play the Ravens in the Super Bowl. What do you say after this game? Because here's the thing. It's not me flip-flopping. I just got new information. The information I just got is that this team only scored 15 points at home with an extra day of preparation against the Dolphins. That's the information I just got. Now, do I expect the offensive line to play way better than they did tonight? Absolutely. They probably won't have a game like this the rest of the year. And part of that, you have to give credit to Anthony Weaver. But also part of that, you have to also account for the fact that these guys haven't played with each other very often. When they get Havenstein back, that is going to be the big one. Hopefully he's back next week because they need Rob Havenstein. Rob Havenstein is the lifeblood of the offensive line, just like the Rams defense is the lifeblood of the Rams right now. Remember that defense that not that long ago, first 4 weeks of the season, people were calling for defensive coordinator Chris Shula's head, saying, yeah, he just doesn't have it. Chris Shula tonight seemed to have it. If that offense turned one of those field goals into a touchdown, it's a completely different ball game. The game on the other side is completely changed. The Dolphins call a completely different scheme, whatever, the game plan. They call a completely different game. I thought the defense played their tail off. I'm watching a UDFA rookie linebacker, Omar Spates, who for whatever reason got no opportunity until like half the year was over. And I'm watching him, and he looks like he's a seasoned pro. And I'm watching Jonah Jackson, who's making $18 million, while I don't even think Omar Spates is making $1 million. And he looks like a rookie. That's the frustrating part. Is it an entitlement thing? I don't know. I don't want to go that far. I don't know Jonah Jackson personally. And I don't want to make this personal at all. Because I feel like when you start to go with entitlement, like I'll tell you, I think baseball, there's a lot of entitlement. There's 162 games. Guys don't run to first base, right? With football, there's 17 games in a season. You don't have 162. I don't normally see what I would call entitlement. I don't normally see what I would call giving up on a play. I guess it happens. Corners make business decisions. Yeah, I'm not going to tackle Derrick Henry because I like where I'm at right now. I know, but I'm not going to get into that. But I just feel, yeah, it's just, guys, it's just wicked frustrating, honestly. I know a lot of people want to ask me because I've already seen it. You know, what are my thoughts on this game? I just think that as frustrating as it was, and by the way, shout out to 300GJW. Thank you for the 2. Stafford and the fat dudes played like crap. Yeah, Stafford didn't look great. He had his moments where he had some good stuff, but yeah, he didn't look great overall. Man of Paradox, thank you for the 10. Lack of preparation, no cohesion, offensive line. Game over. Yeah, offensive line, no cohesion at all. I totally saw that. I Stomp Casuals, thank you so much for becoming a member. Over on Kick, my boy Jake looking fly AF. We'll always support your sharp analysis and the Rams. Appreciate you. Let's see. Sketchbox, thank you for the follow. SoCal, what's up? Yeah, good Lord. Anyway, this live stream is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. If you want to support the channel further, you can get involved and sign up for a Prize Picks account. Use my code JKBogan. You're going to get $50 instantly in your account when you play a $5 lineup, whether you win or lose. So definitely be sure to get in on the action there with Prize Picks. Absolutely love that app. Love just picking the 2 to 6, players, and I really like just kind of the user interface of it. So I feel like that's just one thing that I've always loved. And there's kind of a dopamine hit when you see that green line come through and it lets you know that you won. So yeah, definitely check it out. JK Bogan is the code. Appreciate everyone supporting the channel and so forth. Jordan Phillips, how you doing, man? Jake out here looking like The Rock. Yeah, I had to. I felt like, there was some memes about me looking like The Rock, and I had to go for just full on Rock without the cardigan, because The Rock didn't have the cardigan. He just had the long sleeve turtleneck with the chain over it. So yeah, I agree, Quavo. 100% agree. Just a total slap in the face to the defense. These guys worked their... I almost cussed. I'm trying to get better at that. I don't want to just be loose. I don't want to be a loose cannon, because I know a lot of you guys, I don't know if you're watching with your kids or whatever, so I try to be better about that. Have gotten worse over the years, I would say. Normally, I have a great filter. I would say my filter has definitely gone down the drain. Anyway, that defense deserved way better. That was a very, very good defensive performance, and that's what pisses me off the most. That's what pisses me off the most. You're telling me, and we don't have the pressure numbers and all that, but they had 10 TFLs. 10. You had 2 from Byron Young, 2 from Jared Verse, 2 from Bobby Brown. You had 3 pass breakups from Christian Roseboom. This was the Christian Roseboom legacy game. If he holds on to that interception, he might never have had hate ever again. LVL7, thank you so much for the 2. Respect, Jake, but it's the Cards division now. As of right now, I don't see why it isn't. The Cardinals are the only team right now that I feel good about in the NFC West. Now, I will always say, do not count out the 49ers. Okay? I know you hate the 49ers. I know you'd love to see them miss the playoffs, but I'm a realist here, okay? I'm not counting out the 49ers. I'm not falling for that. I'm not falling for their bullshit. It seems like 3 of the last 4 years, I think they started off 3-4 or whatever. I don't fall for this. I just don't. So, yeah. The Cardinals right now would have my vote to win the NFC West. Currently, I think it's going to be really tough for the Rams to win the division. I don't know if 9-8 is going to be good enough to win the division, Ray. I just don't. I'm not feeling great about the Rams right now. Now, this could change. I could sleep on it, all that. But right now, I'm not feeling great about the Rams. This was a win they kind of had to have. And now, you got the Patriots. I do think they beat the Patriots. That would put them at, 5-5? God, I can't believe they blew that. Anyway, 5-5. So theoretically, 10-7. You're going to have to be 10-7, in my opinion. right? So if you're 10-7, that means the Rams can only theoretically lose 2 more games. Those 2 games that I believe that they will probably lose if they only lost 2 the rest of the year would be the Bills and the 49ers. But if they lose to the 49ers, that could cost them the division. So it's just not good. It's just not good. Like, this is a bad, and this is my thing, okay? If my platform at any point ever feels a little too sunshine and rainbows, I'm considered somewhat of an optimistic person. I know a lot of people think I'm a homer for it. Mind you, I've been right about the Rams record multiple times. I picked when they won the Super Bowl right after they traded Stafford. I had them going 10-7 when a lot of people had them tanking for Caleb Williams. So I've been right, but I also have plenty of times I'm wrong. I was wrong about 2022. To be fair, there were a lot of injuries, but I was wrong about 2022. I was wrong about guys like Terrell Burgess and Bryson Hopkins. Now, could they have been really good players? Potentially, but they never got the opportunity. I thought they were going to get the opportunity. Yeah, I've been wrong about a lot of players. I thought Van Jefferson was going to get a contract, and all of a sudden he goes from that to just not even, being traded mid-season. I've been wrong a lot. I've also been right. That's how it works. Because if I'm never right, why the hell are you watching, right? I'm so excited to watch this guy and his 20% hit rate on his takes. No one's going to watch that. And no one should watch that. So, yeah. Losing this game sucked. Absolutely sucked. But I do think they're going to come back. They're going to beat the Patriots. Put them at 5-5. I do, they, for whatever reason, have had awful history against the Dolphins. It goes back I don't know why they're so bad against the Dolphins. They also haven't been great. They haven't been great against the Eagles, but I think they will win that game. So that would put the Rams at 7-5. They could beat the Saints. They could have another 3-game win streak at 8-5. You lose to the Bills and Niners, so now you're 8-7. And then you got to win you have to have a 3-game win streak against the Jets, Cardinals, Seahawks. This team isn't done, but I have my concerns. By the way, fun fact, Tutu Atwell is still the leading receiver. Oh, wait, is that not updated? I don't think that's updated. Never mind. Don't listen to me. I'm an idiot. I think Cooper Kupp is now the leading receiver. But Tutu Atwell was the leading receiver going into tonight. I don't know why they don't use him more. They threw that play. Did you see when they had the go route? They throw that go route to Puka Nacua on Jalen Ramsey. Are you kidding me? Where's the speed? I know Puka's fast, but he's not freaking Tutu Atwell. Yeah, HD, I did actually. I watched this tonight and said they could beat the Eagles. Do you know why? Do you know why I'm saying that they could beat the Eagles? It's very simple. Because the Rams are stopping the run now, which a lot of people don't want to talk about. The Rams defense is actually doing a really nice job. You know something about Philly, though? Here's who Philly's played. They beat the Packers. That was a very good win. They lost to the Falcons. They beat the Saints 15-12. At the time, maybe that was a good win. Now it's not. They got destroyed by the Buccaneers. They barely beat the Browns. They destroyed the Giants. They destroyed the Bengals. They barely beat the Jaguars. They destroyed the Cowboys. The Eagles have a below 400 strength of schedule. They're this juggernaut team because people are like, oh, the Eagles, they've been in the Super Bowl recently. Yeah, the Eagles are great. No. This is 2024, and the Eagles are not a great football team. They're just not. The Rams could have blown out that Dallas team. The same Rams that keep everybody in their games. They could have blown out that Dallas team. Cooper Rush could not do anything. So I'm not sitting here thinking, yeah, the Eagles are going to be a problem. I think right now, though, you got to go week to week. You have to go and just play who you're going to play. They have the New England Patriots, who I don't think they're great, obviously, but they're fighting for something, man. They were trying to buy at the deadline. Let's not forget about that. New England's 3-7. I'm not saying they're going to the playoffs, but that AFC is terrible. Definitely not saying they're going to the playoffs. But let's also recognize Jacksonville was 3-7, and they went to the playoffs the year before the Rams went 3-6 and went to the playoffs themselves. The Patriots are coming off a huge win, 19-3 dominant performance against the Bears. That same Bears team that beat the Rams. They lost a close game against Tennessee. They beat the Jets. Like, I'm not saying that they have a great, schedule. They beat the Bengals week 1. They barely lost to Seattle overtime. Yeah, they barely lost to the Miami Dolphins. I mean, obviously the Dolphins didn't have Tua, but it's any given Sunday. And the Rams better come ready to play. It's going to be cold. It's a November 17th game, so it's going to be cold. That'll be the last game that I cover until I go to LA. And then I go to LA for the Sunday night game, which, I think really what it comes down to is the Rams are in a position here where they now have games where in the past, like, okay, you might have been able to get away with. They really kind of have to win from here on out. They really have to win the majority of their games. Really no other way to put it. They really have to beat the Patriots, Eagles, Saints, the Bills, 49ers. If you can steal one of those, that's great. They have to beat the Jets. They have to beat the Cardinals. They have to beat Seattle. There's a lot of have to win. We'll see. But this was really uninspiring. And Sean McVay is better than this. He just is, okay? This team, again, I don't want to say team. The offense looked like they were ready to play. Or, excuse me, the defense. The offense did not look like they were ready to play. Defense looked great. Offense did not. I said when I started this show, I was like, there is no way I'm going to clump the defense in with this. No chance. It's truly demoralizing, as Troy Aikman put it, because you win 3 straight. 2 of those wins are against teams that are decent. I mean, Seattle, and then the Vikings are a good football team. One of those is the Raiders, right? Not great. But you win those 3 games. Now you've kind of turned your season around. This was your turning point here. You got takeaways. You couldn't put up points. You had the unfortunate Bo Limmer offside or false start, takes off the 52-yarder that Cardi drills, then he misses a 57-yarder. It's just a lot of just shooting yourselves in the foot. It just really sucks. Ram Elite, thank you for the 2. Love your content. Big fan. Can't stand Ram haters. Yeah, they're a little annoying. Thank you, Ram Elite. Brad Bax, thank you for the 2. Roseboom, play good, but the whole offense choke? ? Yes. Because, look, you go down... You go down with your team. I'm fully, well aware of that. But when the offense isn't scoring touchdowns, I don't care what your yards were. I don't care that Puka Nacua almost had 100. I don't care that Cooper Kupp looked good. I don't care about, Kyron Williams was running well. I don't really care. They need to score touchdowns. This has already been an issue. We've talked about this so many times, folks. How many times have we talked about their lack of touchdown scoring in the red zone? How many times? And it's not like they're getting explosive touchdowns. The explosive touchdown they got last week in overtime, when do they get that? They haven't had any of those plays really this year. They've had a few, but not a lot. So it's just... It's really, really frustrating. This game really just cramped my style. It's just, I don't know, man. Oh, boy. I don't know. And however you guys feel about this game, you have a right to feel that way. Just remember that, because people are going to tell you, oh, no, this is totally fine. And no. If you have an issue with the way today looked, voice it. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's really frustrating. I didn't want to have to sit here and talk about how I just basically think that the Rams offense is overrated. And I don't understand how it looks. Like, some people would probably think that I'm a Stafford hater. I love Stafford. Like, I love Stafford, but it's not Stafford. Like, can I just also say this? This is what scares me, by the way. This is really what scares me. If you took Stafford off this team is in the running to pick number 1. Like, if you replaced Stafford with, say, I hate to be this way, but if you replaced him with Jared Goff, how many wins do you think Jared Goff has right now on this team? Truthfully, do you think the Rams have 4 wins with Jared Goff? Do you think they beat Seattle? We've watched that same game. Jared Goff does not beat Seattle. They lose that 10 times out of 10 times. Do you think he would have beaten the 49ers? No. The Raiders? Yeah, maybe. I'll give him that. The Bears? No. The Packers? Absolutely not. The Vikings? What do you guys think? Because Stafford made a lot of plays with his legs in that game. I don't know if he beats the Vikings. Really, my point here is that Stafford, if you were doing like a war, wins above replacement, Stafford has 2 more wins than Goff on this Rams team. Stafford has 2 more wins than most of the quarterbacks in the NFC. That's my thing. I'm not trying at all. I'm not trying at all to say that Stafford is the reason I feel that way about the offense. I'm just saying, since Stafford came over, they haven't had a 500-point season. Now, to be fair, offense is down around the league, but 404 points last year, right? It's frustrating. It really is. I can't even believe we're talking about this. I can't even believe, they lost this game the way they did. I thought it was certainly possible that they could lose this game, but not even scoring a touchdown. Man, I love sneezing. It's totally not an inconvenience at all. Totally didn't disrupt what I was trying to say. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's frustrating. It really is. Yeah, he threw 5 picks and they won. Well, I mean, the Lions are, and I'll say this, the Lions are a better football team than the Rams right now. Thank you. The Lions are a better football team than the Rams. The Rams have to prove it to me. I have been giving this team way too much, just giving them way too much credit or way too much praise. They got to show it to me. They really got to show it to me, because I'm at the point where I'm thinking, okay, 4-5 right now. And whether it seems fair or not, Jake, they just won 3 straight, 2 of which were against decent teams. Great. Well, if it's not fair, don't go 1-4 to start your season. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is literally what I'm talking about. No, Ray, I wasn't crying. I was sneezing. I'd rather cry, honestly. I hate sneezing as much as I hate, like, spiders. Like, sneezing is just the bane of my existence. But, yeah, if the Rams don't go 1-4, then they can lose this game, and it doesn't feel like the end of the world right now. Like, it's really that simple. That's why these teams are like, How is this team 6-4? They look terrible because they can. Getting off to a good start doesn't mean you're going to win the Super Bowl. Getting off to a good start allows you to be in a position where now I can lose a close game if it happens. I hope it doesn't. But if it happens, and I'm not sitting here panicking that my season's over. That's the same thing with the Dolphins. Whether it's fair or not, Tua got hurt, I get it. The Dolphins know, okay? The Dolphins know they're 3-6. They can lose maybe one more game the rest of the year. Maybe. That's the reality of it. You put yourself in these positions based on how you start. The same thing can apply. Look at the way the Saints started. So the Saints started 2-0, and I think they were like the first team to score 40 points in back-to-back games. And now they're, 3-7 or whatever? Like, this is a Saints team that started 2-0 that people were thinking was really good. And even when they were like 2-4, you're like, well, this is a team that started 2-0. Like, they'll be fine. And now, but it gave them that kind of wiggle room. But it also is a reminder that just because they started 2-0 doesn't mean they're going to go to the Super Bowl or anything like that. So the good news is, and there's not a lot of good news after a loss like that, because I agree with Aikman. I think this kills your momentum. I think this ruins everything that you've been doing. This really hurts you. This isn't the loss to the Ravens. Let's be clear here. Don't forget that. Now, on one hand, right, you're talking 4-5 right now. The Rams were 3-6 last year in their 9 games. Their first 9 games, they were 3-6. This year, they're 4-5. So they're better than last year. But so is the NFC. That's going to be tricky. So as opposed to last year, and again, I'm giving the Dolphins credit. Like, I think they're way better than the record. But there's a difference. See, the Rams last year, and it'd be funny if they followed, and I wouldn't be surprised if they did, to be honest with you. I have no idea. The Rams are just kind of all over the place. Nothing they do makes sense. They had a bye week. They came out of the bye week. They lost. They won an ugly game. They got their superstar running back. They win against Arizona. Impressive game. They win against Cleveland. Impressive game. They're 6-6. So they win 3 straight. They're 6-6. Well, the Rams were just sitting at 4-4. So almost identical, right? Right around this point, the 4 games after the bye, they could not win that 4 game. They lose in overtime 37-31 to the Ravens. They then go on to beat Washington 28-20, New Orleans 30-22, the Giants 26-25, and they beat the 49ers 21-20. Knowing full well that they were in the playoffs regardless of that Week 18 game. They would have been 9-8 if they lost, and they would have made the playoffs. This year, you might have to go 11 wins. You definitely have to win at least 10. I don't think this is a 9-win season. So we'll see how that goes. But that is at least kind of somewhat fascinating that the 4th game after the bye week, after they won 3 straight, they lost. But while it's fascinating, guys, it's like I told you, losing that game to the Ravens was a good loss. It stung. You went on the road and you lost in the pouring rain in a game that was a shootout that looked like that of the Super Bowl. That was one of the best games of the year, 37-31. You go down 6-7, right? And it sucks. Absolutely sucks. And the feeling is like, oh, you can't lose. But at the same time, you went toe-to-toe with one of the juggernauts in the AFC. So you just showed yourself that you were something. This is not that game, guys. This is not that game at all. I'm high on the Dolphins turning things around, but as of right now, they're a 3-6 ball club. That's what they are. Make no mistake about it. Like, It's not like the Rams just went toe-to-toe with the Kansas City Chiefs. It's not like the Rams just went toe-to-toe with the Ravens again or the Lions. This loss it stings. And it will. But you know why it stings more than anything? Because they lost to the Bears. Say what you will about the Lions game. Lions, we've already established, are a better team. They were at home. Rams are banged up, and they took that to overtime. A game that a lot of people didn't think they had a chance of winning. They took that to overtime. And then they come back from the depths of hell, and they beat the 49ers in an incredible comeback, and I don't know how they won that game, but they did. Then they lose to the Bears. No, that game was awful. They outplayed them. They had, 4 trips to the red zone, no touchdowns. That game was awful. When they lost to the Bears, you just knew the Bears weren't that good. You just knew that was going to sting. That could be the game right there that stops them from making the playoffs. Then you lose to the Packers. Packers is a great loss because it's a great football team, or at least a good football team. It stings because, had Jordan Whittington not gone down with an injury, well, the Rams might have won that game, but they lost. Doesn't sting as much as the Bears game because the Bears were just an inferior team, and you knew that. They had a rookie quarterback that you were getting pressure on, and you just continued to blow the game. You couldn't score. But that's the thing that I'm talking about, is that when you look at games like that, like the Bears game versus the Dolphins, I come away with this stings, but the Dolphins are also good. I don't think the Bears are good. I really don't. They're falling off a cliff. That game still bothers me more. This game wasn't fun, though. Can I be honest with you? I did not have fun watching this game. I felt like I was watching a horror movie. It was like I should have just turned on a horror movie. It was awful. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Tough night, very tough night. It's not the end of the season. Luckily, there's plenty of games left, although it won't feel like that soon. But, being 4-5, it's not the end of the world. You have 8 more games, but we don't know how the NFC is going to go down. I will say this. Teams that they can't lose against, if they're going to lose to anybody, right? I mean, I've already kind of accepted they're probably going to lose to the Niners because sweeping the Niners sounds kind of crazy. But, think about this. Bills, that hurts the least. The impact of that loss, they're on the AFC. That doesn't hurt the Rams at all. The Saints, they're done, right? They're done. Philadelphia, that could hurt. Why? Because you have a chance at a tiebreaker against Philadelphia. There aren't many tiebreakers left, folks. That's the reality of it. Right now, the Rams would not have the tiebreaker against the Lions, the Cardinals. They would have it against the Niners. They wouldn't have it against the Bears or the Packers. They would not have it. Well, yeah. So that's it. So the only tiebreakers that they can claim are the 49ers, the Cardinals, the Seattle Seahawks. The good news is all 3 of those teams are in their division. And if they win all 3 of those games, they're likely, they'd be sitting just 3 of them in general. And without order, you're talking about 7-5. You beat New England 8-5. You beat, the Jets. You're 9-5, and you beat one of New Orleans, Philadelphia, Buffalo, and you have your 10 wins. And you likely win the division if you beat all 3 of your division foes. But they are really running out of time. They are. This loss stings. So, what happens next? Because I'm sure you guys probably want to know, all right, you've already made it clear the loss stings and, it hurts the chances of getting in with the tiebreaker and everything. But, what goes on week 11? Well, I'll tell you, the Cardinals have a bye week, right? So that was an opportunity, but you blew that. So let's say the Rams do go to 5-5. Okay? They beat the Patriots. They go to 5-5. Not easy to go on the road on short week. Not super short, but short. And you go across the country I don't care who you're playing against. Cold weather, all that, not easy. So let's say the Rams win that game. They're 5-5. Cardinals are on a bye, right? The Cardinals right now are 6-4. So they're 2 games ahead of you. You know, my thing here is Rams go 5-5, and then you have Seattle playing the 49ers. If you understand anything here, if you actually truly understand how the 49ers work, the 49ers aren't dead. Don't ever listen to that. So you are rooting for Seattle if you are a Rams fan. You are rooting for Seattle this week upcoming. If they beat the 49ers 5-5, 5-5, 5-5. All 3 of those teams are, guess who would be in first? Or obviously the Cardinals would. Guess who'd be in second? The Rams. It kind of stops the bleeding a little bit. Then you have a tough matchup. Now, I think they'll win. I think they have a shot to win. I do think they'll win because I don't think that they've really played anybody. The Cardinals play the Seahawks. They go to Seattle, okay? Tough on Seattle. Must win for Seattle. Seattle could win that game. If they do, Seattle would be 6-5 based on if they beat the 49ers. The 49ers then play the Packers. So the Packers, I mean, it's in Lambeau, talking mid-December or mid-November. They could win that game, right? So that would put the 49ers at 5-6, would put Seattle at 6-5, the Cardinals at 6-5, and the Rams would be at 6-5 with a win over the Eagles. Then week 13 happens, and you got the Cardinals taking on the Vikings. So the Cardinals have a really easy schedule upcoming because they already went through the gauntlet, but they still have the Vikings. They still have Seattle, desperate team on the road. The 49ers have to play the Bills. The Rams then would have to play the Saints. So I don't want to say this because honestly it gives me just anxiety and bad vibes because the manager of the New York Yankees says this all the time. It's right in front of us, but it's literally right in front of the Rams. If they take care of business, one of these outcomes can happen. I'm not saying it's going to. I think the Cardinals are better than people want to admit, but you have to just keep winning. Don't worry too much about, the math of it all and everything. Don't. Because bottom line is if the Rams win out, they're getting to the playoffs. I don't know if they'll ever be a 12-5 team to miss the playoffs. I would be pretty shocked if it's this year, but I guess this would be the only year that would even come close, but I don't think a 12-5 team would miss the playoffs. Now, how realistic is that to just win out every game? Not really. But if we're looking at the playoff predictor right now, I'm going to reset this and then update. So if we're looking at it right now, the Rams are in the 10th spot in the NFC. Awful. They totally missed an opportunity. The 49ers, who they have the tiebreaker over, are a game ahead of them. Rams have a division tiebreaker, though, because they have more wins in the division. Seattle does not. They're 0-2. They're also 4-5. So this is going to get really fascinating because the Rams, the Cardinals have the bye. The Rams over the Patriots. Let's just say that happens. I have it in front of me now. I really don't see Seattle beating the 49ers, so I think the 49ers win. So now the Rams are still behind the 49ers. They're 5-5. Niners are 6-4. Cardinals are 6-4, and the Seahawks are 4-6. Desperate team. I actually would take the Seahawks. I think the Cardinals would come off the bye rusty. They're on the road. I would take Seattle. Seattle 5-6. Rams, I took over the Eagles. I know the Eagles are coming off a mini bye, but the Rams, I would take over the Eagles. That would put them at 6-5. Seattle beat the Cardinals. So the Cardinals, Rams are 6-5. Seattle's 5-6. The 49ers, they would lose to the Packers in this scenario. You have 3 6-5 teams and a 5-6 team. The next week, the Rams should beat the Saints. Literally no excuse to not win that game. The Cardinals then have the Vikings in Minnesota. I like the Minnesota Vikings in that one. On the road for the Cardinals could be tough. The Cardinals also get off to really good starts. And then when they get off to really good starts, they have a really bad history in December. Now, I know Cliff Kingsbury isn't there anymore, but it's worth mentioning. The Bills and 49ers, I would take the Bills. Coming off a bye, Josh Allen, Bills are just a better team. So now, just like that, the Rams and their total gaffe for losing this game the way they did, it could be expelled, essentially. And the 49ers can actually win a game, too, going into week 13. I have, at that point, it'd be the Rams 7-5, Cardinals 6-6, 49ers 6-6, and then Seattle against the Jets. I'll take Seattle because I think the Jets are done. So now the Rams are 7-5, and we could be going into a week 14 where the Rams are 7-5, and then there are 3 teams in the NFC West that are tied at 6-6. That point, 49ers will beat the Bears. The Cardinals will beat Seattle. And I think the Rams lose to the Bills. Now, there are 3 teams tied at 7-6. Seattle 6-7. Okay? So we have that out of the way. So then week 15 comes along, and you have the Cardinals over the Patriots. That'll happen. So 8-6. Seattle over Green Bay. Fat chance on that one. I'm going to take Green Bay. Seattle's done. They're 6-8. It's over for them. Rams 49ers could be everything. I do think the 49ers win that game. Puts the Rams at 7-7. So now, going into week 16, you have an 8-6 Cardinals team, an 8-6 49ers team, a 7-7 Rams team, and a 6-8 Seahawks team. Okay? 49ers, I actually think are going to lose to Miami here on the road. I told you, I think Miami's about to go on a run. So 49ers are 8-7. The Rams beat the Jets. They always do well at MetLife Stadium. And the Jets don't look good at all. The Seahawks lose to I'll have them be in the Vikings, but they're pretty much done, 7-8. And the Cardinals beat the Panthers. Cardinals are 9-6 now, okay? This is where it gets interesting. Cardinals are 9-6. Rams, 49ers, 8-7. Seattle Seahawks 7-8. So Seattle's still in it, but we'll have them taking the win over the Bears. They're 8-8. Rams beat the Cardinals. Now this becomes interesting because now it's 9-7, 9-7, and the 49ers are 8-7. The 49ers and Lions, I'm actually going to take the Lions there. So now the 49ers are at 8-8 with the Seattle Seahawks. And the Rams are at 9-7 with the Cardinals. Rams win against Seattle. The 49ers beat Arizona, and the Rams, by the skin of their teeth, from the way it looks, because the Rams beat Seattle, and then the 49ers beat Arizona. Rams by the skin of their teeth, because the 49ers beat Arizona, they win the NFC West. So 10-7, 49ers, Cardinals 9-8, Seattle 8-9. I'm just letting you guys know that's what we're looking at right now. Their path to the playoffs is going to be the NFC West. I just don't see, not saying it can't happen, but I'm not banking on the NFC to have a wild card spot open. I don't think that is what is in the cards, no pun intended, this time around. Like, I just don't. And the reason I say that is because if you just went with the best record wins, okay? Best record wins. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but if you did that the rest of the year, the Lions, the Commanders, the Falcons, the Rams, those are your winners. Obviously, with the Rams scenario I just told you about, obviously they wouldn't have the best record. The Vikings would have the 5th seed. Eagles, Packers, right? The Bucks would be in the mix. The 49ers, the Cardinals, the Seahawks. Like, that Eagles game might be the most important game if the Rams are trying to have an outside shot of getting the wild card or having the wild card as a backup option. Really, this could not come at a worse time this year for the NFC North to be a powerhouse, for the Commanders to be really good. It's just not really like the thing that might actually be a good thing. I'll tell you this right now is, being able to see a team like Dallas. Dallas has fallen off. That's good. That team isn't in the mix. Tampa, as much as it pains you to see Baker and like what he's kind of going through with all those weapons being out, they're 4-6. This is a team that could very well make the playoffs. If they didn't lose the last 2 games, they'd be in good shape. So there's definitely a pathway here. I mean, I think right now you're hoping every single week. The Lions you don't care about. They're going to win the division. Doesn't matter unless you hate them, whatever. The Lions you don't care about. They're going to win the division. It has nothing to do with the Rams. Washington and Philly is interesting. Washington, I think, is better. Philly hasn't played anybody. Washington hasn't played a ton of teams, but they have had some success against teams. So I would say Washington wins the division as it stands right now. Philly is going to be one of those teams. So if you're looking at the wild card, if you are going to match Philly win-wise, you want to have that tiebreaker. Not saying it'll even matter, but if it does get to that point where it does matter, tiebreaker over Philly, which you can acquire in 2 weeks, is a big deal. So Washington, Detroit, the Falcons, those are teams that are like, all right. Because if they run away with the divisions, then you don't care. It has nothing to do with the Rams. We don't care about seeding and all that. Rams won the Super Bowl in the 4th seed, so it's totally fine. But then, since the Lions are a powerhouse and everything, now you have 3 other teams. I mean, the Bears kind of are bad. So 2 other teams, like the Vikings, like the Packers, that you have to be aware of. And the Packers already have the tiebreaker over the Rams. The Vikings do not. They do not. But the Vikings, if they played teams that, like for the rest of the year, if you gave them a win against every team that they had more wins than, I mean, they're going to play the Titans this week. You don't think they're going to win that game? Then they got the Bears. Then they have the Cardinals, so that's a good game. Falcons, that's tough. Bears, again, not tough at all. Yeah, like there's a very realistic shot that the Vikings just keep winning. So that's where we're at. If you want the Rams to make the playoffs and, you don't think that they're going to win the division, well, the only way they make the playoffs is if they have a better win-loss record than the Bucks, than the Eagles, one of the teams, right? Because there are 3 spots. One of those spots is going to go to the Vikings, I think. Could be the Packers, maybe both, whatever. But this is the thing. You are going to see some good teams left out of the playoffs. That's just the way it is. So, yeah. Really, just a bad loss tonight. It's... Yeah, that's really what it is. Brad Bax, thank you for the 5. 3rd down and red zone play calling execution needs to be better. Totally agree. Garrett, thank you for the 5. It's first game back, but Jonah Jackson does not look great. Don't understand why he's playing center. Nopum is a liability taking up cap space. I totally agree. Totally agree. They could look a lot better in the next game. I expect they will, but they're also going up against the Patriots, so temper your expectations there. But, man, Tough game. I honestly totally forgot about call-ins, so I don't even want to do them. I'm like ready to call this thing, man. I'm ready to go to bed. I'm ready to wake up and realize that this was all a bad dream. No, but all jokes aside, let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll do call-ins for these 5 people, and then I am going to crash. That's what's going to happen. And we'll have more content throughout the week, get you guys ready for the Patriots game and all that. Man. Just, wow. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. But let's get this over with. Let's move on. Let's just, this is part of the cope, right? Is what they say. I always love that. Like, that's an offensive. Oh, cope. I'm good. I'm just annoyed. But let's see if this works. All right. Let's see. HAV, you got me?
Hey, Jack, what's up?
Hey, man.
Hey.
I am going to give you a minute and a half because I don't even really want to do call-ins right now after this game. But, but I'm going to give you a minute and a half to kind of give your thoughts on this game and kind of whatever else you want to talk about.
Gotcha. We going?
Yeah, it's all you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was surprised to see you as pessimistic as you were today because I thought you were going to try to spin it into something positive, and I always want to do the same thing. Oh my God, was this I don't know, man. It just kind of felt like they folded. This team, they're always... It just kind of felt like a mirage where it's like, you know what they've done in the past. Stafford had no opportunity to do anything. I don't know where the Puka receptions went. I don't know where our touchdowns went. I don't know where D-Rob went. Defense did everything they could. First touchdown we let up in, like, was it like 5 plays in the first quarter? Like, the first series, we give up a touchdown like immediately. That did set somewhat of a tone. But other than that, I mean, it just kind of felt like there were multiple times all in the clock, we're down by like 2 scores. Like, why is Sean like, oh, we'll kick a field goal? It's like, no, go for some deep plays. Like, I kind of felt like he was just so quick to just be like, oh, okay, yeah, Kyron will run it. It's 2nd and 1. It's like, no, dude, at this point you're down by like 10 points. It's like, throw the damn ball, try to get a touchdown.
No, I agree, man.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you calling in. I wish I was more enthusiastic, but I mean, you know, a big thing for me has always been, you know, trying to stay consistent. You know, at least to the best I can. I mean, you know, it's tough to do everything after a loss like that, but it's my job. As far as call-ins, it's an extra thing that I think adds to the community. So I try to be consistent with that. There have been a few times I haven't been able to do it because, you know, issues going on with the OBS and all that. But no, I appreciate you calling in, man. Appreciate the participation, and I'm sorry we couldn't talk about something better.
Surprise us. We know that. We've seen it before. But yeah, today was just left me with a big question mark. That's about it.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Me as well, man. I think you could tell I was a little like, what the hell?
I would love to see a 2-score lead on the Patriots. Make it an easy game. Let's have the first game of the season where it's like, okay, can throw it away and call it a day.
Yeah, you know, we'll see. This team doesn't blow anybody out, so that's just...
Yeah, no, you're right. Hopefully it's not snowing.
Oh, good God. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
all right, man.
Appreciate you, man.
For sure, dude. You have a good night.
You too. Take care. Phoenix, how's it going?
Hello?
What's up, man? I'm going to give you a minute and a half to say whatever you would like about today's game and, the future and what have you.
Yeah. So this was very disappointing. Um, Positive note is that the defense, we're getting better defensively. I liked what I saw, except for the first series. But if they're giving you an opportunity to score, you got to take advantage of it. It doesn't matter who it is. Like they gave you an opportunity, and it just seems like the offense just didn't come today. Like I don't know what it is. It was just blunder after blunder. But the thing is, it's I'm still riding with the team, of course. I know this loss is gonna bite us later down the road, but I'm still not gonna give up on this team, of course. I still think that I still am crossing my fingers that we'll make it at least to the playoffs. I don't care what seed we are, like as long as we can just get to the playoffs, that's all that matters to me, you know. But I don't know. I think some stuff is gonna have to happen during the off season. I know it's a little too early to say that, but really need to look at some of the stuff that's going on because it's we can't keep going like this, you know.
Yeah.
Defensively, we're good, but it's always the offense is just it's always you just never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
You're gonna get explosive, yeah.
I'm just over that feeling, Nash. I mean, to be honest with you, I've gotten to that point where I'm just like, you know what? This offense could look like the best in the league or the worst in the league. I've seen both. I've seen it way too much. It's frustrating, and I really hate it for the defense. I thought they just continue to play their hearts out, and even in games that they've won the last three, I just don't feel like the offense got bailed out against the Raiders. They were not good. So, yeah, it's just it's definitely frustrating to watch, and hopefully they turn it around, and they've shown in the past they can, but I definitely tempered my expectations a little bit after tonight. I will say I think this team can win a Super Bowl because I think any team that is competitive right now with a top flight quarterback, a great coaching staff, a defense playing the way the Rams are, they could absolutely win the Super Bowl. But I no longer believe they're going to. That's the difference. I believe they can. They can turn this thing around. But I no longer believe, I no longer feel confident anymore that this team is going to do that. And some people will say, I told you so. And some people will laugh that I ever thought that and say I was delusional. But I think it's definitely fair to at least say, look, this is a team last year that went 10-7. A lot of people counted them out. And they went the tough road, too, because they started 3-6. And they go 10-7, and then they go to the playoffs, and they lose to a team that goes to the NFC title game by 1 point, and everyone acts I don't know what they expected this year. Oh, yeah, they're going to be terrible because Aaron Donald left. I just think that there's a lot of stuff out there that just is really frustrating, and I just expect a little bit more out of the Rams. I feel like the defense is giving the offense now 3 opportunities in 3 different games to go down the field and win the game, and they just haven't gotten it done, and it's really frustrating.
It is, and it's the media hasn't done us any favors anyway. So it's just basically we just have to prove to anybody because we can play anybody, and
Yeah.
we have the skilled players to do it.
Absolutely.
It's just the execution. It's I don't. It's we're always questioning. It's we can't blame the refs. We can't do this. We can't do that. It's within ourselves. So it's what the hell are we doing wrong?
Yeah. No, I feel
it's
that,
just
man.
yeah. It's just basically we just gotta I don't know if I still believe in the team. I know everybody's pissed off, but it's you just you gotta ride with them. I know they do some frustrating crap time to time, but it's still our team, and we still got to just like ride with them, even though they just do some boneheaded stuff. But I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know like you got other callers, so
No, I
yeah,
appreciate you, man.
yeah. But thank you for like letting me on and stuff. So
Oh, of course. Absolutely. Appreciate you
yeah,
calling in, and you have a great night.
yeah, no, you too, man. All right, see ya.
All right, later. Why isn't it letting me? Okay, there we go. P-Train, long time no talk. How you doing, man? P-Train, you there? I know there's a chance that you're not. It's pretty late.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How you doing, man?
Oh, okay. Good. I was just asleep. And all of a sudden I heard something and it was like, I think I'm on.
Oh, I mean,
Oh,
if you're trying to sleep, by all means, I don't want to, but you're more than welcome to.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, cool. Then I'll give you a minute and a half to say whatever you want uninterrupted.
Well, offense was anemic. Defense was really great. I think they started to break down a little bit, but I think they were just kind of tired being on that field, but they were phenomenal. It seems to be kind of a pattern with the offense coming out slow and digging themselves into a little bit of a hole, and sometimes they climb out of that hole with a couple breaks here and there. The ball bounces their way a couple times, and tonight was one of those nights that we dug a hole that we just couldn't get out of, and offensively. But yeah, I got so mad watching the game. I got so mad. It was not a good night. My phone got cracked a little bit as it hit the floor. Yeah, I ended up so mad. I was like, I ripped my Rams jersey. I did a Hulk Hogan impersonation, and that thing ripped. So mad. Oh my gosh! So that one's in the trash. But
Oh man.
it was bad. It was bad. But I don't know. It's hard to. I think we talked about this before. It's hard to get yourself ready for a whole week. Waiting for this and waiting for the game, and then they pull out this kind of a product on the field, and I'm like, come on, man.
I know.
But I don't know where we go from here as far as any potential talk of playoffs still looming in the air. I know there's still plenty of games left, but we can't play like that offensively and expect to go anywhere. So
No.
It's just very disappointing.
It really is. No, I appreciate you calling in, P-Train. Yeah, it's just really disappointing because, I think what they were doing was real. I think that 3-game win streak was real. But I do think that the offense is way too inconsistent. And does that fall on Sean McVay, the offensive line? I don't know. But there's clearly something there that a lot of people don't want to talk about. And I don't really want to talk about it, to be honest with you. I hate saying it. I don't want to be a buzzkill, but I just really feel like it kind of hit me when I was watching this game. And it has hit me, in the past. I haven't really said anything, but this offense, it just should be so much better than they are. And when you have a night where you get Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp and Jordan Whittington is ready to go and Tutu Atwell and DeMarcus Ross, it's like you have more weapons than most teams in the league. And Kyron Williams is like, to lose a game because you didn't score a touchdown with all those guys is just asinine. So yeah, it was just wicked frustrating. I felt like Sean McVay just kind of gave up at the end. I mean, just the way, like, I don't know. He called a run play when the time was against them, and then they ended up settling for the field goal. I just felt like he was totally done. It was just an overwhelming day, and yeah, just a lot of different things. But no, I appreciate you calling in, man.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Get back to sleep. Get some Z's. Got a long week ahead of you with the Patriots coming up. So
Yeah, I'm going to be seeing the dentist a little bit earlier this morning, about 8 o'clock or so.
Oh God, when it rains, it pours.
Yeah, it's going to be a doozy.
I don't envy that. Oh man,
Yeah.
You have a good one.
All right, you too. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye. SoCal, you got a minute and 30 to rant to your heart's content on this team.
Hey, what's up, Jackie?
I got you. How you doing, man?
Cool, man. First off, I want to give you thanks for doing the call-in. I know kind of late, tired, we're all bummed out, so got to give you your props for that.
Of course.
Yeah, man, I actually started writing down some notes to kind of like make me give better focuses on the team or what I see is going wrong. Let me see. First off, I think the team was playing a lot better last year. I noticed Stafford's throwing picks in every game this year. And for some reason, this team's not playing better than last year. We have a better offensive line. Year two guys playing like Puka, Cup's healthy. We got Jordan Whittington. 2-2, they're not – I don't know what's going on. I still think sometimes it's McVay's play calling. Let's see what else. One thing that's concerning, we don't have depth at tackle spots, neither right or left. So we have interior, but no depth in tackles. Like I'm just kind of shocked, man. Kyron Williams is playing better than last year. Like, just they can't survive like this. I'm sometimes wondering, like, which Rams team are we getting, the good one or the bad one? And I feel like maybe I jinxed them. I'm always like a doomer, and I was thinking, nah, the Rams got this. I was leaving in the Discord saying, nah, Rams are going to win by 10. Who knows, man? And also, even the defense is playing better than last year. They're keeping teams under 20 points, and they're giving you takeaways as well too. So this team should be a lot better, but they're not. And I just kind of think maybe it's McVay's play calling might be a little stale. I thought they were going to come out in the second half and make some adjustments, and they didn't.
Yeah.
So
they didn't at all. But
I just really want, honestly, I don't even care if they make the playoffs. I just would want some consistency out of the team as far as offense, because like you said, this is an offensive-led team. McVay, Stafford. Would I like a mobile quarterback? Yes. Is Stafford still good? He was playing better last year. And I just kind of disappointed a little bit.
No, I get it.
Say.
I totally get it. I think everybody has a right to be disappointed. This is not what anybody would have expected. If they lost, I would have assumed they lost like a nail biter, a shootout. I thought the red zone woes were over. That is the thing that's so concerning to me. And again, I don't want to take away any credit from the Dolphins, but I have to say, I thought the red zone play calling was just abysmal. I felt like it was more so the play calling was bad. Matthew Stafford missed a wide open, Kyron Williams as well. Anyway, appreciate you calling in, man. hopefully we get to talk about something a little bit better with the Patriots game coming up, and hopefully they just take care of business.
Yeah, that definitely, and I do agree with you. I think there's not going to be a game like this going forward. It's either they're going to lose close, but not like this. Like, not even one touchdown. Like, everybody's healthy. Like, this is the first time we've gotten as healthy as we've been all year and not one touchdown. That's kind of like, ouch.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that way.
And I just want to tell everybody thanks for, staying up here with you, listening to your video and everything. So, cool, man. Talk to you later.
Hey, talk to you later, SoCal. Appreciate you, as always, supporting. Means a lot. And we'll talk soon.
And hopefully you being at that Eagles game is good luck, because if I had the Rams losing to that one, but if they somehow win that one, it kind of cancels out this game. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you on that take. So hopefully they can steal some more wins.
Yeah, that's definitely the hope. But yeah, appreciate you, man. We'll talk soon.
Cool, man. Cool. Thank you.
Absolutely. You take care. All right, Rusty. You got a minute 30. How you doing, man?
So, what can I really tell you? Just that the offense was a complete failure today, and what an embarrassment to all us Rams fans and national television. That's for McVay to go out there and produce whatever the hell you call that. I call it a pile of shit. I don't know what other people call it, and just the offense just played horrible. And I thought I was so happy to get reinforcements, but Jonah was so freaking lost out there, man. Terrible snaps, and what the hell was he working on? Center, and then Steve playing guard. I thought he would look better. No, he got his eye poked out when that Stafford Kyron would be touchdown, but O-line was abysmal. Joseph Noteboom is probably one of the worst $20 million tackles right now in the league, and he's such a bad contract. And Jonah's he ain't no saint. His contract is pretty bad too. And just for the offense just to produce that, and then Chris Shula's defense putting out an amazing show, and just for them to basically his efforts go to waste because McVay couldn't get his head out of his ass, and the offense couldn't do anything. And I think that's the most disappointing part. And then the offense, just as you were saying, like, we look bad. I don't know what the hell do they do in practice, but the offense just looks stagnant. It's terrible, and we deserve better as fans. And then Shula needs better because he looks like he wants to make the playoffs. He looks like he wants to beat the shit out of teams, but what does McVay do? Oh no, I'll just take the field goals because just take what I can get. You know how infuriating that is, Jake, that even when we don't have that much to lose, he still goes for the field goal? Like, seriously?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Running the ball and third and whatever, yeah.
At the end of the day, and the offense is not looking anything good. If they even want to save face, the offense has to ball out against the Patriots. But it's any given Sunday, but the offense just has to do better. Defense is doing all they can, but how can you only win? Defenses win championships, of course, but you can't win the championship without your offense scoring. So just very frustrating. McVay's stupid response of shuffling the O-line. And I thought Limmer was trash. Boy, did he make me look stupid today. He's probably the best center we have right now. And Jonah should just sit his ass down on the bench. Waste of money, waste of a contract, and waste of a roster spot. And hopefully Rob Havenstein stays back at right tackle because Noteboom being a tackle, he did not look like that today. And just disappointed on the offense itself. And they better get their shit together because if we want to make the playoffs, we got to start winning some games. Offense cannot be scoring zeros in the first positions. And I get it, they need continuity and everything, but Kyron played terrible today. He had that really stupid fumble. I hate when he holds the ball with one hand. He doesn't know how to carry with both, and of course, they fumbled it. And just Stafford, I know like he had some questionable calls, but that O-line has to protect him better. And also Stafford had Kyron wide open in that pass, but he has that provincial vision. He only wants one target, and just the whole offense. It's inexcusable that Tutu has not got any reception so far in these last couple of games, just because Puka and Cup are back and they don't want to.
That's on McVay. Like I'm sorry, but that's on McVay. Like, you know, and this has been an issue. I always say, I know I come off like a very big critic of McVay, and I love McVay. I mean, I handpicked him, right? I obviously didn't make the hire, but that was my guy. And he still is my guy. And I still think he's one of the best head coaches in the league. But let's call a spade a spade. Bryson Hopkins, what he did in the Super Bowl, never got opportunities ever again. Okay, Van Jefferson, right, went from like, oh, yeah, we're talking, he's going to be he's gone, right? Cam Akers, we were told he was the greatest thing since sliced bread. He's gone, right? Now you see Tutu Atwell. Every time this team has to rely on Tutu Atwell, he comes through. And yet, for whatever reason, they're throwing go routes to 4.640 Demarcus Robinson. They're throwing go routes to Puka Nacua. They're not throwing go routes to Tutu Atwell. Then Tyler Johnson is seeing more snaps than Tutu Atwell. It's this conundrum, and I just don't. I feel like part of it is just McVay trying to be the smartest guy in the room, but I don't feel like he has the biggest ego. Like, as opposed to like Kyle Shanahan. Like, I feel like Kyle Shanahan does stuff like that. But I also kind of feel like Kyle Shanahan's a better offensive mind. He's not a better coach. Not even close. But Kyle Shanahan's a better offensive mind. It's a reason why that 49ers team can lose their quarterback, get Brock Purdy, who's a Mr. Irrelevant, and have him do the way he does, and then have injuries in their offense and lose George Kittle and lose Deebo Samuel and lose Brandon Ayuk. And for whatever reason, that offense is almost always scoring points. They just are. And the Rams just don't. Like, this is a very, very, very inconsistent offense. It always really has been since after 2018.
This is the sad part, Jake. It's just embarrassing. And of course, the fans shit on the defense because, hey, Raheem isn't here. Raheem's the reason we lost. No. McVay has a big significance to the reason we lose. Today, he was the major reason we lost. His inability to do anything in the red zone. And then his play calling questionable. And of course, who are the team going to blame? The defense. Oh, should have done this. Darius Williams should have tackled. The secondary should have tackled. Jared Redd should have sacked Tua. No. It's all on McVay and the offense. Their inability to make any running attack, any passing attack. It's embarrassing.
No, it is. It absolutely is. So, but Rusty, appreciate you calling in, and we'll talk again soon. Hopefully after a Rams win over the Patriots.
Yeah. Cross my fingers, Jake, and hopefully we win Sunday.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Later, man. All right. Seabass, how's it going? Seabass, you there? All right. I'm going to move on. Oh, okay. All right. Well, that is going to do it. Appreciate you guys. I am just, I'm ready to just reset. But everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure and a privilege to bring you guys this content. I don't take this for granted, even in nights like this. We still have over 350 people in here. Man, you guys are awesome. Really appreciate you. And I'll see you guys throughout the week. Love all of you. Take care. And we'll see you soon. Later, folks.